Hello and welcome to Loppy Loves Eco. If you haven't been here before, my name is Lauren and on this channel we talk about sustainability and eco-friendly living on a budget. In today's video I wanted to talk about food waste and ways that we can reduce food waste, which in turn will save us money because we're not spending money on food that we're just throwing away. Before we start, I'd like to ask you to hit the like button below and subscribe if you haven't already. So why is food waste such a big problem? Well, while food is an organic material that can break down, if you throw food into the bin, it's just sent to landfill. So much gets sent to landfill that the food will be covered very quickly by everything else that is being thrown away. There will be no oxygen present to help break down that food. Now, the food will still break down. Without the oxygen, the food is breaking down in an anaerobic environment, which releases methane gas instead of carbon dioxide. Methane is another greenhouse gas, just like carbon dioxide is, but it is much, much more potent and much worse for the environment. So if you do have to throw some food away, it's always better to compost it over throwing it into the landfill. If you don't have compost at home, you probably have a local compost collection from the local council. Not every area does, but I think it's becoming much more commonplace now. So throw the food scraps into the compost waste rather than the landfill, where it can at least produce carbon dioxide. Although we don't want the food waste to start with, but if you have to, just throw it into the compost. Well, first of all, if we can just buy less food, if we notice that we're wasting a lot, that is always the best option. It's good if you can make a meal plan, go out to the supermarket and just stick to what's on the list for the meal plan. Don't go outside of the list and try to stick to the meal plan when you're cooking throughout the week. That is probably one of the best ways that you can reduce your food waste because you're not buying too much and you know how you're going to use the food that you're buying before you buy it. But I understand it is not possible for everyone. I struggle to stick to a food plan because I'm such a busy person. We did have a food plan last week and managed to stick to it, but it's very rare that we have a food plan in this household, so I understand it is difficult for people to do that. If you are someone who struggles to stick to a meal plan, like myself, you can just cook smaller portions when you cook. If you are someone who struggles with it, maybe you cook way too much pasta or rice and you just, no matter what you try, you cannot cook the right amount of food and you always end up with too much, use up your leftovers. There are so many creative ways that you can use up leftover food. If you have too much rice, you can make egg fried rice, or if you have pasta, you can make frittata, which is like an omelette with pasta or rice or vegetables, anything inside it. In this household, every Sunday we have a sourdough pizza, and the toppings for the pizza are just leftover vegetables, and for my boyfriend, leftover meats that are in the fridge, and leftover cheese. We put everything on the pizza that we can use. And if you just have too much of a finished meal that you can't use in another recipe, take it to work or school as a packed lunch, if you're able to. This saves you money on not having to buy lunch while you're out as well. We do that ourselves. We can get food at work if we pay the company, but we actually prefer now just taking our own lunches to work. It's been so long that it just feels natural to take our own lunches to work instead of eating the food that is available in the staff canteen now. When you go to the supermarket, keep an eye out for yellow stickered items. Those are the items that are reduced to clear because they are coming to the end of their shelf life, or they're past the best before date or coming close to the best before date. It's most common to find things like produce, like fruits and vegetables, with yellow stickers on. We can get some really good deals here in Iceland. In the UK, yellow stickered items are very common, but very difficult to get a hold of because people genuinely fight over them. Sometimes there are actually fights in the supermarket over these yellow stickered items. But if you can access them and if they're not being sold where you live, buy them, because more often than not the produce is completely fine. It just needs to be used a bit quicker. Or you could preserve it, which goes on to our next point. You can freeze items, dehydrate them, look up canning, which is a way of preserving food, pickling, fermenting. There's so many different preservation methods for storing food long term. So you could do that with anything that is about to go bad. If you have any fruits or vegetables that are past their best and maybe they've gone a bit soft or they've got some bruises on them, they're still perfectly fine to use in soups and smoothies. You can regrow some of your food scraps, such as spring onions, probably one of the easiest things to regrow. If you have the little root at the bottom, just don't cut too far down. Put them in some water and the greens will keep growing over and over again. Here in Iceland we can buy lettuce that still has the root on it. You can just plant that and it will start growing again. Also, when you're in the supermarket, keep an eye out for damaged packaging. If there are any boxes or tins which are dented or a little bit crushed, consider buying them because they're less likely to be sold. Because people want perfect looking items, even if there's not much difference in the quality. Also consider buying ugly vegetables because they're still vegetables, there is no difference. They just might look a little bit ugly, but if you're going to cook with them anyway, I don't think it really makes much of a difference. And finally, look into food sharing. If you have something that you know you're not going to eat before it goes bad, see if you have a local community fridge near to you that you can put the item into for someone else to eat. Look at food sharing apps such as Olio and upload the item that you want to get rid of, and someone else will come and take it from you, hopefully. There are some Facebook groups where you can share food that you're not going to eat, or just give it to a friend who you know will eat it before you do. Food sharing is a great way to reduce your waste, and it also improves the community, I feel, if everyone is helping each other. Okay, so that was just a super quick video about food waste. Hopefully this has given you some ideas and some inspiration to reduce your food waste a little bit. And if you have never thought about it before, hopefully it's given you a starting point to start thinking about your food waste. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other ideas to reduce food waste, or if this is the first time you've really thought about it. I'd love to hear. So again, please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!